Hmm. Hello, friends. Hello. It is Monday. It's a holiday today. The kids are home. Hello, Diana at Justice Acres. Kids are home. They have been bribed. If they are quiet and downstairs for 1 hour, we will bust out some ice cream. um, it's been a little bit of a day. I hear we're not the only one getting some nasty, gross weather. Diana, how's your weather? And what part of the country are you in? I'm sitting on top of the heater vent, and so I can hear a lot what's going on with the kids. It makes me a little anxious. Um, sorry, trying to clear my throat. Constant thickness. Cold in Ohio. The Grateful Sunnites. You guys got some snow. I was trying to do chores out. Well, okay, so the kids are home. Of course, we should play in the snow. That's what you do, right? When you've got, I think it could have even been a snow day. Anyways, so oh, that's good. It's almost all melted off, Jay. Okay, so yeah, let's take an hour and find all of the snow equipment, the snow pants and the boots and the gloves, and let's go outside and play. Just long enough for them to get sopping wet and come back in. I'm not a fan of being a snow mom. I personally don't mind driving in the snow or shoveling snow or bundling my body up. It's just the getting of kids ready. But it was kind of nice that the boys are home because they did all the shoveling. And looking at the forecast, this is how I decide if we're going to shovel. Is in the forecast in 7 days, is it going to melt? Because if it's going to melt, we don't believe in shoveling. Hello, Dolly Perry. How are you? So we did shovel and it was heavy. But Chris Root, hello, how are you? So I'm learning where some of you are. I know the Grateful Sunnites are in Missouri. Dolly, are you in Florida? Anyways, so as you come in, go ahead and tell me where you are at. Little Creek Homestead, I believe you're in Missouri. Hello, welcome. Dolly Perry, you are slurping on delicious chicken soup. So you're wonderful. We had hash browns and maple sausage for breakfast. It was yummy. Willow Creek Homestead, you're cleaning the kitchen while you listen. Well, I'm glad you're back in the house. It's been a cold morning there for you, too. It's interesting. She is, 3 hours north of me. And sometimes she gets the storm before I do, and sometimes I get it before, and sometimes she gets it, and I completely get skipped. So that's fun. Dolly Perry, you're in Washington. Awesome. So sometimes you might get some of the same storms that I do. Hello, Paige. Paige D. Okay. Oh my gosh, Chris Root, you said it was -17 this morning in Michigan. There's some places I just don't know if I could go because of that. But I think I handle the cold better than the hot because you can always do something to get warm, right? Sometimes there's not anything you can do to cool off. So, hello, Lindsay Z. You're in Oregon in the middle of wine country, but you're not wine drinkers. What a waste. Oh, that's funny. And wine grapes are not the same as like table grapes. So, yeah, there was some kind of advisories. If you have outdoor animals, bring them in tonight. Yeah, it's a cold one today. The plan was I was going to go buy a rabbit today. And I texted back and I said, it's really snowy. Can I come tomorrow? We're not supposed to have snow tomorrow. So the plows will work all day today. And then I'll go out tomorrow. And there's no school tomorrow either. It's a teacher prep day. So originally I was like, we've got 2 days off school. We need to go camping. But I can't drive close enough anywhere that it would be warm to, and then have enough time to play. So that's where my mind goes. We've got time. Where can we go? Paige D asks, what kind of rabbit? Okay. So it's a standard full standard Rex, no mini crap going on. And it's got a tri-color pattern on it. It's a juvenile, so it's 3 months old, and they're only selling it for $10. And it's within a 30-minute drive. Okay, pretty good deal. Why is it only $10? Well, it's missing a leg. It's a bargain special needs rabbit. They said it wasn't a birth defect. They said it was an accident. So, I mean, you see three-legged dogs and cats live really good lives all the time. So I figured it would be worth going and looking at it. Sunite says, how do you know what a good Rex coat is versus not a good Rex coat? So just with the little bit of practice that I've had, sometimes you can tell in a picture that it has a good dense coat. And I don't have words to describe, it's almost like it doesn't lay down flat. Like you can look in a picture and the fur looks like, it's got a pattern of going down, right? But looking in a picture of a good dense Rex coat is it doesn't have any of that. The fur is so dense that it sticks up and it's dense. So, and then of course, touching it is the next, you can tell is a good coat when you touch it, just so soft. So Dolly Perry, you asking inside or outside? Yes, Willow Creek. That's your new name. Willow Creek Homestead. It will look velvety. Yeah, like velvet. What curtains? What was that? Was that little? No. Gone with the Wind when she made a velvet dress out of velvet curtains. I had a velvet skirt once. Yeah, the fur will look velvety. The Grateful Sunite. Somehow I totally see a three-legged rabbit on your homestead. Not in a bad way, more like Kathleen can rock anything. Hope so. And they keep it in a cage. It's on wire. It was next to its mama, so in the picture I could see, the size that the mama would get to, and her color pattern was very similar. So yeah. So when Grateful Sunites. I mean, I'm no expert, but I do have some pedigreed rabbits, if that means anything. So yeah, if you find a picture, send it to me and I'll give you my opinion. Grateful Sunites, thinking of rabbits and you want to go the Rex route? So Lindsay says she's tempted to do rabbits when she sees the Holland Lops. There's a lot of Holland Lops on the classified here. So I've been tempted to go that route because they get big. They're a 10-pound rabbit and they're considered in the meat breed. So I've been tempted by those and they're cute, but you got to be able to turn that off. Right, Paige. If the rabbit has no problem reading, I don't see why a missing leg could be a problem with the breeding. Yes. Okay, good to know, Grateful Sunites, that you have 2 New Zealand does. You want to get a boy and you're thinking Rex. There's a lot of like mixes out there of New Zealands with everything else. Okay, hold the walnuts. Yes, I did look at that link you had sent me. So she sent me a link for a rabbit that's on sale. I think it was only $10 and it was an established doe. I think she was 3 years old or something. So that didn't bother me so much because if I could get one breeding out of her, then I could raise up the daughter, right, for a replacement. What makes me nervous about that one is it would be a good long drive. I mean, if I'm going to drive that far to get that rabbit, then I'm going to go an extra hour and go see Trish in Idaho. I wasn't quite sure on the body condition of that rabbit. Just looking at the way that rabbit was formed, it was really lumpy, if that makes sense. And it did, when you think of like show quality rabbits, not that I'm showing the rabbit, but that's just a good base to start. Sorry if this is distracting. It's a good base to start. If it's got a good show quality, then it's going to have the condition you need for breeding. That one looked really lumpy and not quite have the true form that a Rex would have. So Chris says, I got some seeds and some soil starting. So she's excited to start her seeds. Yes, it is time to start. Sabine Cody, Sabine or Sabine says, is it the front leg or the back leg? I don't know. I didn't ask. I kind of didn't think it would make a difference if it could get around or not. So yes, Ogden is far from Provo, but okay, so the way Utah is we've got two lakes. We've got the Big Salt Lake and we've got the Utah Lake that I'm next to, and then we've got mountains and mountains, and so all of the population is in between the lakes and the mountains. It's all down there with a big old freeway in between. So it's not quite like other areas where you're like going, so it wouldn't take, I could go up to Ogden. I'm not saying no to that one yet. Okay, so the other part of this three-legged rabbit is she has pregnant does. So do I get, and I'm going to go tomorrow and look. I get distracted. Dolly Perry says, breeding is a pretty primal skill, and I don't believe a missing leg is going to prevent it. Yeah. Okay. They have pregnant does. So do I get the one that's got a 3-month head start but has a missing leg? Or do I wait for her, do I wait possibly up to 2 months for the rabbit to give birth, buy one of those, raise it up? I'm thinking either way, if I have a 3-month-old rabbit now, or if I wait 2 months and get a rabbit, I don't think I'm going to be able to breed until after summer. Crazy how that is. Blows my mind sometimes to think that we are covered in snow right now. It's prime breeding season in the cold. We don't breed when it's hot. Your buck will go sterile. It's harder to keep a lot of rabbits cold or cooled off in the summer, and just easier to let rabbits stay naturally warm in their coat in the winter. Anyway, so I'm thinking of getting this new rabbit, and I'm not going to be able to breed with it anyways this year until after the fall, after camping season's over, after it's not hot. Italian girl asks, why do white rabbits have red eyes? I don't really know. There's some talk that they're albino, right? And albinos, they don't have pigment, so their eyes appear pink and red. It could just be breeding. I know there's a lot of people who try really hard to breed white rabbits with blue eyes. That's a very desirable trait. I don't really have much of an answer outside of that. So let me catch up on the comments. Get both, Paige says. There becomes a housing situation. I don't even have a housing place for this rabbit that I want to get tomorrow. So I wanted to hop over to the thrift stores and see if I could find a piece of furniture that I could retrofit. Willow Creek says, come to Ogden, we'll meet and play. Oh, Chris Root, you're getting goats this spring? That's awesome. Food Forest Permaculture, hello. Yes, have some hot tea. Okay, let me scroll down a little. Little Creek says, the white rabbits with red eyes creep Sammy out. It's okay. It's okay for a little girl to be creeped out by the red eyes, because I know some full-grown men who are afraid of the red eyes. Okay, so there's the discussion on, do I get the three-legged rabbit? Okay, everyday Kira, how many rabbits do you have? How much food do they provide you? We're really wanting to try rabbits, but don't know how many to start with. Usually $1 and 2 does. They say can give you 300 pounds of meat a year. That's if rabbits act like rabbits, and that's if they take care of the babies. So the other part of today's discussion, and I'm seeking advice. I'm seeking advice on Facebook rabbit groups, and I'm seeking advice from any YouTube people who have rabbits. This white mama in the thumbnail that I took a picture of, she I'm not sure what to call it, what happened with her babies. Miscarried, stillborn. She went all the 30 days and then delivered, but they were really stunted and undeveloped, and they almost looked like they were 2 or 3 weeks along instead of 4. They weren't alive. She had stopped eating. Now, this is her 3rd litter in a row of messing up. The second one, they were born and they were fine and alive, but she wasn't a good mom. And so the other mom was able to foster half of them. But then she still would go over and nurse them. So her instincts are, she's trying, but so go back to that dumpster and see if there's more shelves. Those shelves were heavy. So I'd have to build a really sturdy frame with 2x4s. And I have wood on the property to build something, but it's all covered in snow now. Let's see if I can talk and read at the same time. I love the Hot Tot eyeliner too. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Blackpack Homestead with Chris and Marella Ogden. Thanks for joining. You guys are rabbit people too, and I'm glad you're in the discussion. Okay, so this time they were okay. In her 3 times, one was stillborn. One she had not good mommy instincts, and the other time they were fully developed but died. She built a nest. She cleaned them up. So Lindsay D, nothing with the fur right now. I've got some in the freezer, but the goal this year is to learn how to tan those pelts. That's why I want the Rex fur so bad. Half my colony is Rex, half is New Zealand. But I'm thinking I want to switch over to the New Zealand. So I'm not sure if these last 3 breedings were my fault. I'm in chat. One chat says that any disruption in their feed while they're pregnant can cause this. But Black Mama's fine. Black Mama has had, we breed them together so that there can be fostering, and that's come in handy. Black Mama's babies are fine. They're fully grown and developed. She takes care of them. She just kindled today. I think 4 or 5 days after White Mama, and they're fine. They're fine. And they both had the disruption in the feed. So 3 times you're out of luck, Dolly Perry. So I don't know. Yes. Is it Chris or Morella that's on today? Blackpack. Yes. Raise a baby. I was thinking I needed to raise up a replacement for the White Mama anyways. She's 2 years old. About 3 is when they don't do it. They are not as fertile. Okay, Food Forest says covered area and do not disturb. Mama rabbits seem to have great many more live bunnies. So I thought maybe the second time when I thought I changed it this time. I put both of them, they were breeding on the ground in the colony situation. The buck was living with everyone, babies, grow outs, mamas. And at about 10 days, I took the mamas and put them in cages and gave them nesting boxes. She didn't pull fur. She didn't do anything with any hay. She stopped eating. So at first I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this good mama. That was her name, Good Mama. I'm done with her. But then I got reading and I was like, well, maybe it was my fault every single time. Maybe there's crowding in the colony and she didn't feel like she had her place. Maybe with the disruption in the feed, it was my turn. Kira says, give her one more chance. Willow Creek said that too. Maybe breed her right away, right now, and see what happens. So our does get 3 chances. If they don't raise their babies, they go to freezer camp. Oh, Diana, you eat your breeders? That's a hard one too. Oh, could I eat my breeder? She's old. Meat's going to be tough. Maybe there's something wrong with White Mama. She's been so good before. And she comes from really, really good lines, but apparently that doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, Paige, I see what you're saying. Okay, Food Forest says, old Alabama gardener is the best at bunny rabbit questions. Ask him a question and he can answer it back. But do you want a doe from her to replace her? Hold the walnuts. I thought maybe I was going to do that, but if I'm just going to switch over to the Rex breed, then I don't need to waste much more time. I do have some of her grow outs that are 15 weeks now. That's what? Almost 4 months. Not that I could breed her until she was 9 months. It's hard raising up breeders, like holding them for that long. Okay, so Kathleen Keratin Moses, I've seen you in other chats. My name is Kathleen with a K, and so when people call you by your name, I'm always like, but I'm Mama Grows on YouTube. Okay, Kira says if she doesn't do it this next time, she should go to freezer camp or just be retired as a breeder. Okay, so part of me wants to keep her and keep a replacement because Rex breeds are so hard to find around here. It's really hard to find. And to pay $60 for $60 is an expensive rabbit, don't you think, guys? Use a daughter from Black Rabbit and get a new buck. So, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, Black Pack says she needs her own territory. Rabbits are territorial, especially with babies. It could have been the stress of moving from the ground to cage. That's something I didn't think of. Yeah, she stopped eating quite soon after that. So Kathleen Keratin Moses, the discussion is I don't know what to do with my rabbit colony. I've got a mama who just has failed 3 times in a row, but wasn't my fault. And then I'm trying to switch over to the Rex colony, just have Rex and not have New Zealand and Rex, but it's hard to find breeders around here. Ooh, Kathleen, you say $60 for a Rex is cheap here. Okay. Black Pack, you said your first had a deformed bunny in her first litter. I would keep breeding with her because it was just like one, not the whole litter was lost. So yes, Kathleen, we're also saying how I found a lead on a Rex rabbit. It's an adolescent. I'd have to raise it up, and it's missing a leg, but it's $10, and it's got a tricolor on it. So. Hold the walnuts. Is there anything wrong with mini Rexes? No, other than they're little. The classifieds are so full of mini Rexes, and I keep like going back and texting them and being like, well, maybe I could in a couple generations make them bigger, right? Pick the biggest one and save that as a breeder, and then pick the biggest, and maybe I could change the mini to a full size, but that's a lot of years of breeding. All the mini Rexes have pretty colors. I'm finding it really hard to find beautiful coloring in a full-size standard Rex. So, and I want a bigger pelt. I want to do stuff with the pelt and the meat. Primarily having the rabbits here is for their fertilizer for the garden, for meat for the family, and pelts third. So if I'm looking for a new breeder, I kind of want it to, give me meat and a good pelt. Okay, everyday Kira. It's a good idea. That's what I thought, is keep her in her cage, take the buck to her, and try again. Kathleen says stay away from minis. It won't work with your goal. That's what Willow Creek keeps telling me. I'd be like, maybe I could do this. Look at the colors. It's so cute. And she's like, it won't reach your goals. Stay away from the minis. So hold the walnuts. $10, kind of a mutt Rex. Yeah. There's lots of mixes of Rex and New Zealand, Rex and something else out there. Don't just settle for something you really don't want and will not serve your needs. Yeah, Little Creek Homestead. I often just I jump for what I want, and I need to learn to be patient for what I really want, right? Oh, Kathleen, that's right. Yeah, I don't take the buck to her cage. I take her to his, and that's another problem. Housing is a little bit of an issue right now. I love having them in the greenhouse because on days like this where it's windy and disgusting, it's comfortable to go in the greenhouse and to do chores for them. I've got some cage work to do. One of the buck's cage is really small. I don't feel comfortable taking a doe into the buck's cage right now. It's just too small. Black Pack, you have some beautiful silvers and New Zealands. She had 6 bunnies. She lose only 1 this time. Little Creek Homestead, I like to believe that if it's a righteous desire and you're patient, it'll come to you. Oh, Paige, if I don't find anything at another gift shop, that was an expensive cage. It was a nice cage because it was big. But even the way things are set up out there, I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here's a third discussion for us guys in here. I have with trying to get the pelts off of these Rex. Willow Creek Homestead, they did them at about 14 weeks, and they said it was very thin. And so they would tear really easy. So I've already passed butcher. I mean, I've got my boys on the ground, and there's starting to be some mounting of each other. But I kind of feel like as long as I don't disrupt the social order, introduce or take out, they won't fight too much. And it's crowding, right? Do I butcher all the boys? I don't know. Am I being very clear on the problem? We've got breeders in cages that are now peeing on top of the grow outs, and there's always so much work, right? You fix one problem and it comes back for another. And yet here I am looking for more problems to bring to the homestead. Kathleen says you get what you pay for when it comes to breeding stock, and many will only add to your problems. Is the problem doe a New Zealand or a Rex? The problem doe is a New Zealand. Yep. The Rex mama has been spot on. So expanding the greenhouse so it's wider, that's not a bad idea. It's just gross and wintry out there, so I might not want to be building And I'd have to take it all apart. Or maybe, I don't know. That's a good idea. I'm going to really think about that. It's a skinny backyard too. That's a problem. We're in the burbs. I'm on a 1/4 acre. The front yard is very generous. The backyard is skinny. The side yards where I have my gardens are really fat. Okay, Grateful Sunnites, are you waiting to grow them out for a specific reason? I want thicker pelts. So if grow outs are ready, reduce. Yeah, tomorrow we're home from school. I never thought, hold the walnuts. I never thought about starting over. That's an option too. Cull the New Zealand spring project. Yeah. Dolly Perry, it's not a cattle panel greenhouse. It's a pallet. I did big pallets and then I put a hard plastic greenhouse material on top and then cheap plastic on the outside. I'm throwing a lot of questions out here. Wouldn't it be nice if you only had one problem at a time? So I guess my rush, and maybe why I want to keep the white New Zealand so much, is because we have only so many more breedings until it's too hot and we have to take a break. So it's like, I need rabbits, and I have a breeder right here. I can't, I don't have to raise anything up. Chris Root, I have seen Coghill's thing on to help with the pee and poo. They have these trays they put in and out. Is that what you're talking about? Page D, Life of a Homesteader. Yeah, nothing's perfect. It's always changing and moving around. Okay, Black Pack, you butcher at 16 weeks for that reason. We should learn to tan together. We should. Maybe you just need a break right now. So I think I'm going to butcher the boy grow outs that are on the ground that are the older. There's two sets that are apart. Butcher the boy grow outs now at 14, 15 weeks. And then I still have the girls, so I can keep what I want from them as breeding stock, just 1 or 2. And then once they reach 18 or 20 weeks, I can butcher any of the grow out girls that I decide I don't want to keep for breeding. Breed her 1 more time, but know she's on her way out after this litter. Gives me, no, you may not. I'm still working. Kathleen, that's a good idea. Okay, so guys, I mean, what would, yeah, sorry. My thoughts are in my head and then I start talking and then I catch myself. Okay, so if I keep the New Zealand doe and just breed her 1 more time right now. Ooh, and I could try her with my new Rex boy. And if it doesn't work, she's done. She's done. And that does give me time to find a new doe. Black Pack, yes, greenhouse this year. Sunnites, Grateful Sunnites. No greenhouse this year, not in the cards. There's always too much, right? You guys are trying to establish new garden, right? Okay, so guys, another thing, Little Creek, Homestead, your comment makes me think this. So we've got kind of 2 housing situations. In the summer, I put them over where the chickens are now. It's shady, it's spacious, it's shady. In the winter, they're on a south-facing greenhouse for the warmth. So Um, yeah, someone was asking how many rabbits to start with. So currently I have 2 does and 2 bucks. I need to find a home for one of our New Zealand buck. But I've got a kid who's somehow attached to him, even though he does this much chores and spends this much time with him. He doesn't get an opinion if he's not willing to help with the rabbits. Okay. Judy, is 16, 18 weeks the norm age to butcher? Usually like 12 to 14 is when they come off like butter, the skin. Older than that, I've done 16-week-old rabbits, and it's just like really hard to get going around the ankles. So the older, they're going to get tougher. I don't find so much of a difference with like the meat texture up to 16 weeks. At 20 weeks, I pressure canned them because I just didn't want to deal with rubbery tasting meat. Haywire Homestead asked, "Do you save the heart or liver?" Not for us. I usually throw them to the chickens, or I save them in the freezer and then give my little pug 1 or 2 of them until we're out. Blackpack asks, "Is my Rex the father to the bunnies we lost?" No, the New Zealand father is to the one we lost. But I mean, the other mama was bred to him, and there's no problems with him. So Jay, can I ask where your cyst is? Is it in your back? So the Grateful Sunnites, Jay over at the Grateful Sunnites has been having not fun health problems and ER visits and doctor visits and tests and scans. Yeah. So Judy, 12 weeks is better for meat quality, not necessarily like if you want pelt quality, but I'm trying to do the 2. Oh, 16 weeks have a lot more connective tissue. Oh, Kathleen, you had one and it abscessed. It was horrible. The only thing worse than gallbladder pain. It's on your ovary, but the pain is in your back. J-Dog, howdy mama, how's life? Life is pretty good. It's snowy and it's cold, and I've got rabbit decisions to figure out. Okay, here's the decision I'm making today. Is I'm going to find some kind of place where I can breed New Zealand to Rex buck, and this is her. Well, and that gives me time to find a quality breeder. Blackpack, you saved the organs for your dog food, but not chickens yet. Oh, I was at Willow Creek Homestead place in Idaho, and we were butchering some rabbits. She's so nice and she helps me. And her chickens are just free range, right? And so we were just, pluck, chuck, pluck, chuck, hearts and livers to them. Food Forest Permaculture, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping in. Big Bear Homestead, I'm glad you're here. You guys have raised rabbits. We're discussing what to do. So Big Bear Homestead, would you take on an animal? In this case, it's a rabbit, a standard size Rex rabbit, for cheap, for $10. And it's got tricolor. It's beautiful. It's got the fur that I want. And it's going to get big. It was next to the mama in the picture for $10 for a 3-month-old. I'd have to raise it up to be a breeder. but it's missing a foot. Not from deformity, but from an accident. I also have the option to buy one of the does are pregnant. So either way, if I get the 3-month-old or if I get the newborn, which would probably cost more, I'm gonna have to raise them up past the summer for breeding. It gets too hot. I don't breed in the summer. I want to go camping and play in the summer and not take out 200 water bottles to rabbits. What happened, Big Bear? Well, I need a new rabbit. I've got 2 breeders. I've got a New Zealand who has failed us 3 times in breeding, and I think I'm going to give her one more try. One more try. We had her 3 times and anyone else who's new in the conversation, fully developed yet dead. The second time was she abandoned them, didn't build a nest, wasn't a good mom. And this last time they were not developed. They stopped growing. They were like 2 weeks old, but she carried them all the way till 30 days. Write my decision down. I would move the cages out of the greenhouse and divide up the greenhouse for your grow outs. Meanwhile, that gives you that New Zealand one more try while you find a Rex. Kathleen, I think you're really right, and I really appreciate you. It's like talking to myself because my name is Kathleen too. I didn't ask Big Bear if I take the rabbit with the missing foot, would I get a deal on the prego? Well, I would. When I wouldn't get a deal on the prego, I would have to wait. They have pregnant does, so I would be interested in buying one of their kits later. Hello, Gamer Granny. Kathleen, you say don't get the cheap one. Okay, Black Pack, you say your neighbor's dog found a foot that must have been missed the bucket. Okay, often. We hang our rabbits up on a ladder with slip knots, and we cut the foot off and go take the rabbit and go. And often I've come back the next day and be like, oh, there's still feet hanging. Oh. Black Pack, I forget where you are located. Big Bear, the missing foot doesn't bother it. It still lives on a cage like the other ones. It can hop around and eat and eat and drink. And it's only 3 months old. I think they've sold all of their others. I don't think they eat them. It's a 30-minute drive, and I canceled it today because of the snow, and I'll go tomorrow to look at it. Greener Gammy, Gamer Granny, are you breeding strictly for meat, or are you looking at pedigree as well? Okay, so meat and pelt. But I'm finding it so hard to find the quality rabbits that I'm looking for, which is standard size Rex rabbits and colorful rabbits. We've got black or white. That's all I can find. Lots of black rabbits. Anyway, so this one's a tricolor. So in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking if I could have them pedigreed and really high quality, the 2 breeders I have are currently pedigreed. I could sell the best to help pay for their feed. You know what I mean? I think $80 a month currently with all the grow outs we have and how much they're eating. $80 a month for our rabbits. That's what it's costing me right now. So if I could, find ways of having them pay for themselves, back foot or front foot, I don't know, Big Bear. Is it going to make a difference? I didn't really think. I mean, you see like cats and dogs all the time missing limbs, and they can still reproduce. If she ain't producing, she's an expensive pet, J-Dog. Yeah, that was expensive chicken food. Those undeveloped little babies. Big Bear, I'm in Utah. We're a zone 5B. Yeah, there's plenty of breeders outside of me. I'm finding all sorts of resources outside of me. I'm in touch with Brankscum. Brankscum. If I click out of this, I hope it doesn't mess up. Branscum farm, and she threw me a whole bunch of breeders. Oh, I've got a beautiful friend in Virginia, but it's kind of expensive transporting beautiful rabbits back this way. Chris Root, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping in. I do love hearing what your adventures are holding. So, Black Pack, you're near Justin and Rebecca near Asheville. Everyone's over there. Everyone's either in Missouri, Arkansas, Georgia, or North Carolina. Oh, Judy, you said it's been a rough week. Pipes are frozen. Your car battery is messed up. Grainer, Gamer Granny, you don't think the foot would be a big problem? Big Bear Homestead, he's got some beautiful rabbits too. I'm a little bit far from him. Big Bear, you would let that rabbit pass. Okay. Especially if I can't even use it until the end of hot season, and then by then they might have a fully developed one, like a, one that's not, but they're going to charge more. $10 for a rabbit? If you find anything in California, you'll be traveling to Boise through Salt Lake in April. That could be a good connection. You would really pick up an animal and transport it cross country for me? Oh, Grateful Sunnites, come to Missouri. I'm a Missouri girl and I just don't know it. Am I going to any conferences this year? I could pick up some does or bucks and take them home with you. It's not a bad idea. I really want to go to the HOA conference. It all depends if my friends are going. If, I don't know, thought about it a little bit and it sounds weird. And I have a bunch of other, YouTube friends that would be fun to see at the conference. But I need Trish. I need Trish and Rose, but they're thinking of bringing their families. I'd be like, what would that be like to, be the third wheel? I mean, I could hold my own, but, yeah. You'll be at the HOA again doing demos. Yeah, I need some more traps. And what did I buy from your wife? Was it a lip balm? I think I bought a peppermint lip balm because I was so car sick when I was there. I was hoping it would help. So, Sam's Allotment Diary. Where about are you in the USA? I'm in Utah. It's western. Yeah, mountains by Colorado. Everyone goes on and on and on about the mountains in Colorado, and I'm just like, dude, I got the same mountains. Willow Creek, you need to figure out finances. That's going to be expensive to take the whole family. Willow Creek, you're always the third wheel. No, I mean, Little Creek, you're always the third wheel. Okay, so Big Bear, are you still on? What would you do about this New Zealand doe that she's given me 3 strikes? Do I try her one more time? Food doesn't change, cage doesn't change, and see if she can give me something, because we still need some meat to eat. So, Black Pack, you're planning on going to the HOA this year. Yeah, we can hang out. You don't have any kids? I'm excited about that. You would eat her, Big Bear. You would eat her. Okay. I didn't feel in good conscience that I could give her away or sell her. I mean, I would have to give the big old, she's messed up 3 strikes. Okay. Good to know. I really needed this conversation, guys, because I just keep going back and forth. Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? But Black Mama's been just fine. Okay. Okay. Was that so gross that I fed the kits to the chickens? I mean, I feed mice to the chickens when I catch them. Cull her butt. That frees up a cage space if I get rid of her. I like to have my bucks in a cage until we're breeding, and then they get a month of freedom. She was a good mom, though. She was. She gave us like 3 or 4 really good litters. If she can't handle my homestead, then she's out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. And especially where I don't feel like I have very much time to goof off, like, and mess around. I mean, a month. It takes a month of breeding and then 6 weeks of nursing before I can try again. How old is White Mama? She's 2 years old or so. This summer will be 3 years since we started, and she was a grow out that we had. So I don't know. She might not. It might just be time. She may be done with it. It's disappointing because she came from really good lines, like really good lines. Great training for the kitties. Not bad or gross. You had a pig like that? Big Bear, tell us more. What do you mean? Like she was good and then she stopped being good? Or you gave her many tries? Okay, so if I pass on this, I'll just tell them to keep an eye open. There's just no breeders here, and so it's kind of difficult. You know, you're excited to get things going, but maybe that's what I need right now is not, maybe God is telling me, Kathleen, you've got too much on your plate. You've got rabbits that need butchered and cages that need moved and cages that need built, and it's overcrowded in there. Stop trying to bring more things in. Do you ever feel like you just keep pushing for it where you want, but maybe God is really telling you that's not what you need? The thing about feeding unwanted kits to your pets is they will get a taste for it and chance of them killing the ones you don't want culled. That is true. I fed them to the chickens. Black Pack, she is still on the young side. She's not even like 3 years old. So we gave her 3 tries after that. You ate her. Okay. Very good. Written goals. You have it clearly and it helps with the decision. You said you want to move into Rex, then look for a decent full-size Rex. I don't write things down. I don't label my seedlings. I don't keep track of my like rabbit records. Maybe that needs to be my goal, my New Year's resolution. Better record keeping, better journaling. So Little Creek says it might be time for a break. Someone suggested, was that you? Just a clear house and start fresh with fresh goals, clear set goals. Jay, I like your comment. Yeah, I keep thinking, okay, Judy says, is it possible to go to a breeder further away from where you're at? Okay, so I got Black Mama from West Valley. That took me an hour to get there, an hour to get back. I need to like listen to some of my friends that drive 4 hours. When I went to get the New Zealands, that was almost by Willow Creek, which was 3 hours, 3-hour drive for them. Maybe rework your housing situation through the hot season too. Oh, it was you, Walnuts. You said to take a Big Bear. I'm supposed, in all caps, you're supposed to keep records. I know. I keep thinking my brain is good enough. Yeah, Big Bear. You've driven 6 hours for an animal you really want. So I need, yeah, that's hard. It's hard when your kids, are in school and you got to drive but I guess, yeah, I need to figure out my goals. What are my goals? And not settle for a mini Rex, not settle for a three-legged rabbit, not settle. Yeah, gamer granny. Hey, Rachel. We're discussing what to do with my rabbits. I think the decision has been made that I'm not going to rebreed my New Zealand. She failed 3 times, and I want to get away from New Zealand's. I want the Rex pelt. Rachel's my friend in Virginia who, could possibly be willing to give me I could buy a rabbit from her if I go to the HOA conference. But then the cost of transporting a live rabbit back over airlines outweighs the value of the animal. But I don't know. Guys, throw it in the comments. How much have you paid for a high quality rabbit? The most I've paid was $60. So you drove 2 hours to get silver foxes. Silver fox is an option I've thought about going with because they're meat makers. They're an expensive breed around here too, $50 for a breeder. And then I'd have to get 2 if I wanted to keep that pure going. It's kind of hard having pure breeding sets of multiple breeds, right? To have 2 does and a buck of Rex, 2 does and a buck of silver fox, 2 does and a buck, $90 for a trio, Rachel. So $30 each. That seems like a steal. Too bad it didn't take, but you're doing it again. Are my older kids able to help me with journaling? It would be good education experience for them. My oldest is 12, and he fights me at every chance when it comes to homesteading chores. You might want to go visit Rose or us because we have never paid more than $30 for a rabbit. Spring break is the first week of April, and I desperately want to just drive east and see how far I can get, see who I can visit for a day, and then come back. Don't settle for a broken food system. Yeah. Yeah. Dolly says you could put it in a dog carrier and put it under the seat. Okay. Another story related to driving to get animals. The first time we drove 3 hours to get New Zealand's, and we got 2 does and 3 babies and a buck. Well, somehow on the way home, the buck got injured. He hurt his back or his leg. He was able to sire 1 kit, which is what we are using now. But his leg never got better. It just drug out until, he would drag himself across the backyard just eating whatever, and he was happy and he would let us pet him. So I worry about damaging an animal in the transport because of what we had. Let us know if you are doing that, and if you are here, I will start looking for you. Big Bear Homestead. You guys are you in Georgia or Arkansas? Kathleen says silver foxes are on the American Livestock Conservancy list. So yes, they will be expensive. That's tempting to do something that's like rare because then you can sell them for more. I'd like to sell the best, eat the rest, and make pelts. That's what I want to do. Little Creek says if I go to Missouri, I won't want to come back. Yeah. I also have someone here who I really like, my husband, and he don't share none of these goals. So I'm finding it hard just to move him 30 minutes farther south so that we can have some more land. It's hard asking him to, sacrifice his time and energy for a goal that's not his. Yes, he benefits from it. He gets rabbit meat. He gets nice veggies, but his values are not the same as mine. So that's hard. In April, you're going up to the VW family and Roots and Refuge meetup. That would be fun. That would be fun for me to go to. Sunites are going too. Silver foxes are threatened, and we got them for that reason. Yeah, that speaks to my soul too. To help with an animal that's not as popular. Although I see more silver foxes on the classifieds than I do see standard Rexes. Tons of little baby, like toy pet rabbits. So Kathleen, thank you for popping in. I appreciated your firm opinion, and you're not like catering to my, what if, maybe, but Little Creek's going to the VW family thing as well. So, okay, it's been an hour. We've got 22 people in the room. I do feel like this was a very constructive hour for me to help me make some of my decisions. And I need to, before I go down and feed the kids ice cream, because a kid came and knocked once. I need to go feed them some ice cream as their reward, get the ice cream out of the house. And then I need to write down what my decisions are. That would be helpful. And yeah. So. Big Bear, I forget what state are you in. Are you in Georgia? All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate all your comments and your constructive bouncing board. So, ice cream, you're on your way. It's mint chocolate chip. So basically it's like gross chocolate covered in cream with insect repellent as flavoring. That's what I think about mint chocolate. Thanks, Gamer Granny. Oh, Rachel, water is freezing here. Oh, that is the what's it called? The polar vortex. Is that what you guys are getting? Is that still a thing? It was really cold here and windy and lots of water. High is 20s, wind chill, with wind chill probably at 5. I mean, we get that occasionally. January, we get probably 3 weeks of like in the single digits at night. And then we're okay. But I feel bad for people who don't like in Virginia, where this is not normal. This is not good. Correction, 23 with a feel of 8. And do you run, Rachel, do you run electricity out to your rabbits? So Rachel has really good rabbits, and she has them in really good hutches that she has built, that her husband has built. See, a blast like this would be a lot of labor intensive because you're not normally set up to have electric waters on all of your animals. So, Joshiba, are you asking me, am I going to sell any of the grow outs I have now? Probably not, because they're kind of mutt mixes. My good Rex mama was mated with the New Zealand daddy. So they're mixes. So their fur is not that great. I wouldn't seek out that kind of rabbit to buy as a breeder, so I don't really want to sell them. So yeah. But the farm on Quail Hollow. I just watched your wine and seeds video. It looks very warm in your greenhouse. Everyone's got beautiful greenhouses, and I have this pallet greenhouse. I guess not everyone. Some people have a cattle panel greenhouse. So Hello, Grace Homestead Farm. That's a beautiful name. So, Rachel, you don't have a greenhouse. You've got space. Would you ever think about putting a cattle panel greenhouse over in your garden area? And you could make it somewhat movable, so you could like move it space by space for whenever you need it or for whatever reason. So, going along with rabbit housing, I need to get the snow stopped. I guess I'd have to see if the plows have been out. I need to get another housing. We need some more housing. So I thought about going to the thrift store and seeing if I could find a piece of furniture that I could retrofit. I have a thing out there, but I wanted to save it for the quail eventually because I want quail because everyone it's the cool thing to do is to get some quail and we need more eggs. Rachel, ain't no one got time for that. Grateful Sunnights, you need a greenhouse for your starts. Your house is too small. You don't have anywhere to put them. Grateful Sunnights, how big is your house? Wine and seeds is great. I like the comments. Greenhouses, secondhand greenhouses. So part of my goals this year is to stay on budget. So I give myself $1,000 a month for groceries, toilet paper, shampoo, rabbit feed, building materials, new kitchen faucet. It's kind of a tight thing I've set for myself, but it rolls into long-term goals of having more land. So I have about $200 left, and we have what, like less than 10 days left in the month. So if we ate really good, I could have some money to build something else. So Grateful Sunnights for 6 people. Wait, there's 6 people in your house in a 1,400 square feet. That sounds very comfortable if you have no stuff. Oh. Gamer Granny, thanks for showing up. Big Bear, you wish you could get Robin on a budget. She cooks pretty cheap, right? That was good conversation yesterday. Cooking cheap. But then the oils, you guys do a lot of oils and they're really expensive. So Big Bear Homestead, I kind of have a small story. I took my kid to the chiropractor for $85 first visit. After that, it's $50, but $85. He had a stuck sprained rib, and they were able to pop it right back in, and he was starting to feel better. But they also sell doTERRA in there, and they had the Clary Calm in a roller bottle, and they also had the Deep Blue. And I thought, we need to get some of that Deep Blue. Every time I get adjusted, they really rub it in there and it helps. Kathleen, you need to use quail cage, and then when the time comes for quail, you can build a new. That's not a bad idea. Side note, I'll come back to that. Okay, so I was like, oh, I need to pick me up some Clary Calm, and I need to pick me up some Deep Blue. Pulled the wallet out, went to go pay for it, and I was like, wait a minute. I know someone who I could support a smaller person than this. The chiropractor doesn't need to sell oils. They have a very successful business. So I was thinking of Big Bear. And so, but then I was like, oh, I only have $200 left for groceries. Probably shouldn't buy some oils this month. Okay, so second story, Rachel, that's a good idea, is to take that tractor, that hutch out there and build it up now for rabbits, and then when the time comes for quail, move things around. Yes, and build a new cage for the rabbits. And by the time I'm ready for quail, it's time to move the rabbits out of the greenhouse and over into their summer cottage. So, yeah, good idea. Big Bear, yep, that's the plan. Next month. Oh my gosh. Grateful Sunnights, you said your old house was 3,200 square feet. This feels cozy. And now you're down to 1,400, but you have more land. You guys were in Idaho and now you're in Missouri. Do you have more land? Okay, Big Bear. I will talk to Robin. Hold the walnuts. Gotta go. 3-year-old on the toilet with a crisis. My baby just turned 3, and we were talking potty training last night. I don't know. Do you potty train in the winter when you never leave the house, so you don't have that like emergencies in public, or do you potty train in the summer when you could just go outside without pants on? So, okay, so Grateful Sunlights, you've got 4 times the land, but a third of the space. A third. Okay, guys, this is really fun, and my kids are not bugging me, but I feel guilty. I've taken over an hour of their day to myself, so I should go do that. Yeah, Grateful Sunnights, do you have enough outside space for later, Rachel? For projects. I would love the idea. So Julie at Dirt Patch Heaven, she had that tiny house, and it looked like it was just cozy enough. I mean, we've got 6, so we would have to have more than they. Um, I like the idea of a tiny house. It speaks to me because then you can't have clutter, and you can't have messes. It just doesn't work. And then you're only using enough resources that you really need. We're in a 2,100 square foot house, and most of the time you don't use half the space. So, Branson Farm, you can hear me at work. I'm here. Is there any way to get subtitles? I don't know. I'm afraid to click on things for fear of breaking things. So, Branscombe, I'm butchering that farm. I've been kind of messaging them about the rabbit situation. So here's what we've decided. I'm going to update you. Here's what we've decided to do. I'm not going to mess around with the New Zealand mama anymore. So then that gives me 1 doe and 2 bucks. We're kind of upside down. I was going to go get a rabbit, a grow out standard Rex that is missing a leg, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Oh, see, here I go again. I'm getting my goals all confused. I thought I had made a decision, but for sure I'm not going to do the New Zealand. But yeah, if she keeps dropping litters, but the other one is fine, and they were bred at the same time, fed the same thing, same buck using them, it's her, it's not me, right? Grace Homestead Farm, you told your husband you would be happy with an apartment above the barn. You're ready to live on the farm and out of town. That is really smart. Like the Rhodes, they have their house above a barn. I told my husband that's what I want. And he says, no, it would stink, and then we would have flies. I'm like, we already have flies. Italian girl, you potty trained him because he didn't want to get his favorite underwear dirty. I have lots of potty training underwear. And the idea of buying more just because it has his favorite character on it hurts, but I feel like it would be a good idea. Oh, you're due any day and you don't want 3 kids in diapers? I don't blame you. Oh, I don't blame you. Hold the walnuts. Oh, 3 kids in diapers. So I have a big stash of cloth diapers, and it makes me sad every time I go to fold them because he's growing out of them, and I have the woolies, the wool cloth covers that I knitted, and I basically have a mental breakdown every time I pack away clothes they grew out of. So, okay. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for helping me with my decision. Jody Bloom, you'd like to get 2 to 5 acres, but may not be able to afford it. May either get a tiny shed, but it would be nice to get a place like Bobblehead, 3 acres and a trailer. Yeah, I wanna go up and help Bobblehead. Like, I just wanna drive to his place and find a trailer and, like, help him clean up. Like, but I guess that like, I wanna help everyone with their projects, and then I find I never have time to, like, go build a hutch. Maybe that's what I'll do. "Scott, help me dig this hutch out of the snow. Let's drag it into the garage." But the garage is full of old furniture. So thank you guys for coming. I'm really gonna get off. I'm enjoying it, but I do need to get off. We've discussed what needed to be discussed, and now we're just hanging out, and I like that. But mamas don't get to hang out. That feels selfish. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you for your opinions and your input and your company. And you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Stay warm, stay dry, keep those animals alive, hug your little kids. Yeah. Hence Big Bear, why you guys go 2-3 hours sometimes. So thanks, guys.